Amputation used to be the treatment of choice. I mean, it went back to, I think, the Civil War when they started doing it because of this, because it was described back then.
Wow.
And what they found is that oftentimes people would develop it in the opposite limb.
So
yeah,
what
the
was
pain
going on
the pain
with
was
the nerves?
mainly in the knee, so we went above that.
Okay.
And I haven't looked back.
Welcome back to the podcast, the Unlimited podcast. I'm Tanner, the host, and today we have Miss Lisa Maddox.
That's doctor to you.
I'm sorry, Dr. Lisa Maddox. So, Doc, you have a lot of stories, right?
Ooh, probably too many.
Yeah, that we share that together. So we're gonna be sharing a lot of stories for you guys today. She might be a bigger personality than me, so it's gonna be a fun one. Still up to debate. We'll see at the end of today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Lisa's amazing. I still don't know that much about you, but Stan has told me a lot. And from what I've heard from you just the past 2 times we spoke, I'm excited to hear your stories. You've done a lot, you've accomplished a lot, you've been through a lot, and you're here today with a smile on your face, ready to tell some stories.
Always.
So I'm excited
I think I'm
to hear
hilarious, so.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I don't want to give you too much props yet.
Are we supposed to be politically correct, or can we? Speak. Is this a PG-13?
No, yeah, we'll call it PG-13. Okay. We got. Right. I mean, this is a family-friendly show.
Got it.
If anything slips out, we got Cam and Chris
It's more about
behind.
jokes and stories with the jokes.
Oh, let it flow. Don't worry about it. Don't hold back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're good. So we're here to just have some fun. And don't worry about it. Don't worry about being politically correct. Okay. It's 2025. There's too many people like that these days.
Very true. Very
true. Yeah. But I just kind of want to start things out like I do with everyone else and hear about your story of how you lost your leg.
So I went to WestPoint, and kind of the joke was, in order to graduate, you had to have at least one knee scope.
Okay.
Well, I was a high achiever. I think I had probably 5 when I was there.
All right.
And then on the other side as well. And so as a result of that, I was put at increased risk to develop something. It's currently called complex regional pain syndrome, but it used to be called RSD, or reflex sympathetic dystrophy. Just think about, you have nerves in every part of your body. Mm-hmm. You even have nerves in some of your blood vessels. Mm-hmm. And just think of the nerves going haywire.
Okay.
And it felt like my leg was in hot burning oil all the time. The wind hurt. A cover on the bed hurt. I mean, everything. Okay. And amputation used to be the treatment of choice. I mean, it went back to, I think, the Civil War when they started doing it because of this, because it was described back then.
Wow.
And what they found is that oftentimes people would develop it in the opposite limb. So even after they would do an amputation, they'd end up having it come back or going to the other side. Okay. So there were some studies that were done that said that if you went above the level of involvement, that people didn't have it come back. And so thankfully, I had my amputation in 2006, and I've not had that come back.
Oh, that's a blessing. So,
and I was working for a government contractor, and we had to go not just behind the gate to get on the base, but then a separate secure area, because we were working with some treaty-sponsored things that were weapons that were being destroyed, and so we were inspectors for that.
Stuff.
So I wouldn't go that far, but
Okay, some cool stuff though.
Yeah.
And now, if I remember correctly, you played basketball at West Point?
I played basketball for a year.
Okay.
And
kind of accelerated things with the injury or anything, or no? Okay.
Not really connected.
Okay.
I remember I tore cartilage in this knee by ice skating on a pond in Pennsylvania. Okay. Why a black girl from Georgia was ice skating in the first place? That's debatable.
Yeah.
And on a pond, I didn't understand.
It's a story of its own.
Right, and I didn't understand that when a pond freezes, it freezes where the water is.
Okay.
So it's not like Zamboni ice that's flat.
It's got bumps, ridges, things like that.
They should have had us in ice hockey skates, not figure skating with teeth.
Oh, okay.
Because
with
one
the
of the
jagged
teeth,
edge up front. Yeah,
right. One of the teeth got caught,
and
all of a sudden I went straight down on the knee. So I had a knee replacement on that.
Okay.
But when you're 17 and that happens, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then took a little piece out.
Yeah.
Pain didn't hurt back then.
I had a massive knee surgery when I was 17 as well on the one they took. But So I know what you mean.
Pain didn't hurt back then.
Yeah. It's just bounce right back. You're good to go. On crutches for a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So then everything progressed and you ended up was it your choice to take the?
It was my choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you made the decision.
I made the decision.
And then you went above the knee to try to get above the place of what was going on.
The pain was mainly in the knee. So we went above that.
Okay.
And I haven't looked back.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell.
I don't, it's a thing.
It doesn't hold you back at all.
It's an inconvenience, I think. And people hear that and they're like, what? I'm like, okay, never mind. Just work with me on that one.
Yeah. It's hard to kind of understand that unless you have it. You know what I mean? So just like, if someone's never done anything to their body and they break their arm, right? It's just an inconvenience, but it's the same thing as this, right? We got to go through it. It just becomes an inconvenience. So
you want to know an interesting thing?
Yeah, I do.
I do a lot of wheelchair sports. And when I talk to people that are paralyzed, they don't perceive amputees as being disabled.
Interesting.
I think a lot of that is because they have bowel and bladder usually that goes with that. Yep. So bowel and bladder issues.
Yes, ma'am. I have that.
They can't, like, even if they're like, you are blessed as an incomplete because you can actually walk. A lot of them
Thank you, stem
are
cells.
Complete or they're incomplete with just sensation, but no actual muscle.
Yeah, that's where I was for 7.5 years.
Yeah. So they feel like, well, we can just put on a prosthetic and run.
Yeah.
Run in a Paralympic, whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I'm thankful that I don't have bowel and bladder issues.
For sure. Yeah. It's not fun to deal with. Right.
Exactly.
And that's why we got stem cells that hopefully end up helping a lot of that stuff for more people.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm
really happy for you.
Thank you.
So, because that's a blessing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of a miracle.
Yeah, it is a miracle. 100%. Yeah. I mean, everything's a miracle half the time if you look at it the right way. Right. So, but in a weird way, I kind of understand what a paralyzed person means by that.
I do too.
To an extent, right? Yeah. Because I have both. I have both sides of it. And I walked when I was completely paralyzed. Well,
with the
not really walked, but
and
forearm crutches and stuff like that. And then once I was able to start like actually walking after stem cells with, quad strength and everything and all that started building up, it kind of showed me really quickly, like the leg's not that big of a deal. It's just figuring it out. Yeah. But with me not having the glutes and the hips and stuff to support the leg, it's still really tough for me to figure out. But I could see to an extent, I disagree. If you have an amputation, you're 1,000% disabled and it's a lot to deal with no matter who you are, right? It's not a small thing, right? You can make it seem like it's a small thing because it helps you as you get through it and everything. Yeah. Or when you're talking to other people for how they perceive what you're going through and stuff like that. But in reality, any amputation, you're losing something that's a part of your body and that's really tough to go through.
That you've kind of gotten close to.
Yeah. A little bit, it's attached to you.
You've known it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of want to keep it. But it's not like losing an ex-girlfriend. It's, But no, I do kind of see their perspective because when you look at, like when I first walked into this place and I opened it up and I saw all these people that were double and single amputees that are just running in the back, going down the track and doing their different things, working out, squats, stuff like that. I'm like, holy cow, it's like not that big of a deal to have an amputation, I guess. But I mean, it is. It's just very different compared to the two of those.
And I'm not going to say the name, but this particular prosthetics organization.
Oh, we're definitely going to say the name. Thank you, POA, Prosthetic and Orthotics Associates of Orlando. Yeah.
And one of the amazing things is when you go to other prosthetics offices, usually you don't see any other amputees unless you see them in the waiting room.
Yeah, this is the first place I ever saw it.
They put you in a private room, and they may have like community walk bars to walk in, parallel bars to walk in, but you don't really see anybody who looks like you.
No.
And here, it's amazing because there's a huge gym, and you see people that are better off than you are, that are worse off than you are.
Definitely. And
everybody's achieving, and they, people may have just a modest goal of standing, and they achieve that. And Stan always says, it's like people. He sees a lot of people that I'll unpopularly call retreads, because they've gone to other prosthetists, and had horrible experiences,
and came
and
here.
They come here, and when I came here, I was seeing a guy in Long Island. And there were 7 of us who had gone to him specifically. Okay. And we ended up here. Okay. And we've all stayed here.
That's awesome.
And so you get to see other people, and people for the most part, are friendly and will talk to you and encourage you.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't want to be that public about what's going on, they offer you a private room.
Yep. Yeah, they give you everything
so
you need.
So you have the option,
But it is one of those things that, like, this place is so different. I talked about it with one of my 100%. Other guests. Like, this place is so 100%. Different.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no way for you to have a lack. I'm getting chills. Hairs are standing up as I'm talking about it. Yeah. There's no way to not find motivation here.
Right.
So, and no matter how good you are at what you're doing, when you come in here, you're going to find someone that's doing it better probably.
Yes.
So at some point in time, they're going to walk through this door and they're going to be better than you. And that's encouraging.
And Stan says, oftentimes when people have come from another prosthetics office, they come here because they were having blisters or blood or sores or whatever.
Yeah.
And that prosthetist is telling them, oh, it's okay, you'll get used to it. Well, skin under pressure doesn't get used to something.
No, it does
breaks
not.
down.
It gets worse.
It just breaks down. And oftentimes those other offices will convince you somehow it's your fault.
Yeah.
That the prosthetic doesn't fit or work well.
Yeah.
And that's not the case here.
No, it's not.
They will work until it works
exactly.
properly.
Yep. They listen to you. And I have a complicated leg because they went through the knee and I'm paralyzed. So I don't have any muscle up top. So everything is based off of suction, right? Well, yours looks like you have a pin. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You do. It's elevated vacuum.
Okay. Gotcha. So you still. Yeah. For me, especially at the beginning, my first prosthetist that I went to, I love that guy. He's up in Washington State. He gave me a leg for free when insurance went and approved me because I was paralyzed. So I used that for years, got married in it, everything. And that was awesome. But once I got to a certain level, I needed extra help. When I moved down here, I went to another clinic first that just didn't know anything about a microprocessor knee, like anything whatsoever. And this is a massive clinic, right? So I didn't understand, like, how do you not know how to help me with a knee that everybody has pretty much that's above knee, but they didn't. And they couldn't figure out the socket either because I'm so thick at the bottom and skinny up top.
Right.
As soon as I got here, man, we did probably 5 or 6 check sockets, just testing, trying to figure it out till they went to the split and then testing it even more and even more. And eventually we got to a place where I'm so comfortable in my leg now, I don't have to worry about, I don't really feel it.
Right.
So when I get the damage to the skin underneath from the bone and stuff, I get some nerve pain, like a weird nerve pain. Yeah. But nowadays I just don't feel anything. Right.
Well, and you got to inspect it.
Yeah.
You have
got to stay up on it for sure. Yeah. No matter how good your prosthetist is, you got if you're on your leg all day every day, 100%. You have to take care of it and watch out. But But yeah, this place is amazing. And I'm probably going to talk about it with every single person I talk to here because it's the reason why we're sitting here today, right?
I've been coming here since 2007.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I was still had my leg in 2007.
Yeah. I told Stephanie, who's the business manager, I told her, I said, coming down here is like a family reunion. And then you meet new people that you become friends with and you stay in touch. I follow so many people from here on Facebook and we talk and everything. And so it's just, it's a different environment.
It really is.
It's a very collegial and encouraging environment.
Yeah. And it's really hard to find other people with prosthetics that are actually trying to actively live their life and do more and do other things and still keep doing what they're doing before. And here is where you find them.
And Stan said people come in with the modest goal of maybe standing.
Yeah.
Or maybe walking without pain. And then he'll get a phone call or a text or not an email because he won't return emails. Anyway, he'll get a phone call or a text saying, Stan, I'm walking pretty good. I'd like to run, or I'd like to rollerblade, or I'd like to ride my bike with my children, or I'd like to play soccer with my kids, or whatever. And 4 months prior to that, they were struggling trying to get a prosthetic on and not be in pain.
Yep. Yeah.
And now their life is just opened up.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It really is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get chills thinking about that.
I know. It's a blessing for sure for people like us. Yeah.
Yep. And they're my kind of crazy too. That helps a lot.
Yeah, especially Roger.
Get me? I know. I shouldn't tell you that story.
Yeah, if it's a Roger story, probably tell me after. I know Roger. So
there was a Sharpie and a body part drawn on his head.
Oh no!
So he was literally a blank head.
Oh.
He's bald, by the way, up top. He's about a balding crown.
I love Roger.
And he knew it was up there, and he
went through the whole day.
Of course totally he didn't wipe it off. He just left it, and everybody laughed, and he just kind of pretended like it wasn't even there.
Yeah, that sounds like Roger.
Because one of the patients did it to him. He's like, yeah, whatever.
It is what it is now.
It is what
I am what I am.
So, yep, exactly.
That's awesome. So, yeah, the guys are great here that work on the legs too and everything too. It's awesome. On a side note, you said you play sports.
I play sports.
Talk to me. What sports do you play?
So I was living in the Baltimore area in Northern Maryland at the time, and when I lost my leg, and I tried basketball, because basketball is kind of that ubiquitous sport that a lot of people who aren't in chairs have heard of, or seen it on TV.
Yeah, wheelchair basketball.
Wheelchair basketball. So I played on a team there in Maryland, and what I've come to find out is on a lot of basketball teams, you have like all the types. Okay. And that's standing or chair. So you got your people that are your silent assassins. They can just drop a 3-pointer on you like nobody's business. Okay. Not quite Steph Curry quality, but pretty decent, right? Right? Okay. Pretty decent, right? You have your people that their mouth never stops running, but they can't drop a coin in the ocean. Okay. Right? Yeah. You have your people that are your like rebounders and they work really hard, but they never get to shoot. And then you have your people who never show up to practice, but show up for the games and think they're Michael Jordan.
Oh, those are the best people.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have all
even
these
two-leggers like
types,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
These types. And so, you still have them in wheelchair basketball too.
Dang.
And so I did that for a couple of years.
Personalities don't change.
Well, and it's really hard because regular basketball, as an able-bodied person, you use your legs to shoot. Your arms are basically your guidance. Yeah. That's your guidance system.
Yeah, legs and wrists.
Your legs are what you really use. Yep. When you're in wheelchair, that is totally taken out of the equation. Right. Yeah. So now it's all upper body strength. Okay. And I will be the first to say
you have to bring it up.
Oh yeah. And I will be the first to say I was an expert in wheelchair basketball at shooting air balls.
Okay.
100%.
That's impressive.
I could barely make a layup. And that was on a really
Is it considered a layup if you don't jump?
I always tell people, I'm like, dude, where's your vertical leap, man? Where's your vertical? What's up?
You got to bounce the wheelchair
and
up
you're like
and then
strapped
go.
into the chair. So it's like, that ain't happening.
It's a modified layup. Yeah.
So I did that for a couple of years. Okay. And then I found wheelchair. I always wanted to play tennis. Okay. Growing up, I would watch. There was something called, on Saturdays, one of the gentlemen here, he will understand. It was called Wide World of Sports.
Oh, yeah. By Mutual of Omaha.
Yes. Yep. And it would only come on Saturdays. Yep. And they say the thrill of victory and somebody, getting a medal or whatever, and the agony of defeat was this guy like having a yard sale skiing down a mountain. He crashed and he hit a plastic sign and he falls and skis are going everywhere, poles are going everywhere. And that was the agony of defeat. It's like, that's kind of a defeat.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so that's where you would see like tennis, like Wimbledon, French Open, that type of thing. And I used to practice running across the court to get the ball, like the ball kids. I would practice that
quick run
in the living room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted to do, not the tennis.
No, I wanted to play tennis, but I felt like you had to be a ball kid first.
Yeah, be the ball. Yeah, and then move up to the tennis.
And then move up to play.
Okay, I see where you're coming from.
And I grew up. I was born in the 60s. I grew up in Georgia in the South, and I talk about race and when you grow up in that environment, it's considered normal. There's certain things that you see that happen that you just don't even acknowledge. Yeah. But they're there.
They're not right, but they end up being normal.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you have somebody who's not from the South and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like it's what life was.
That's normal. Back then, there were not very many Black people playing tennis in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay. I could probably see that. Yeah.
Right. And for the kids, it was basketball, baseball, and football. Okay. And being honest, at the time, one of the most famous golf clubs in the world actually did not allow people of color and did not allow women.
Oh wow.
And then the Augusta Country Club also did not allow people of color.
Oh, wow.
So it was, if you're going to play, you were going to play. I didn't say that.
Just got to throw it out there. You know what I mean? That's within our lifetime. That's not great. Not a great look.
I actually have friends who are members, and they were wonderful people, and their kids, you would never know that they had any status in society. Their kids are just normal kids, which is
that's really cool.
I think that's a hat trick.
Yeah,
to raise your kids that way, and they're just
that's
not,
rare.
You know,
to
they're
be
not
at that
elitist.
status, but
and they're
still
just
be
they're
normal.
just those guys. I know they're just wonderful people, but
that's really cool.
They're also my age and not older.
Okay,
and that whole tradition that's like no other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they used to have only black caddies.
Okay.
And they expected their waiters to be black men in a white coat, like a white tux coat. I mean, you know, there are very specific things that were there, and that was the tradition.
Yeah.
And that didn't change.
Okay.
And until they did.
Yeah. Which good thing they did.
Right.
Yeah. Still crazy that's in our lifetimes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I lost my leg, I was like, I played tennis a year, and it was self-taught, and it was ugly.
Okay.
Yeah, I admit that too.
That's fair.
It was very ugly.
I wasn't great at it either.
Right? I mean, I could hit the ball over the net, and sometimes I even hit the ball over the fence.
Okay.
I know, wrong sport.
Yeah, it's
not
a
baseball.
little bit impressive, honestly, to get it all the way out
right?
there. But
not baseball.
they're not
and
short.
I get it.
They're not short fences for tennis.
No, they're high.
Yeah.
And it takes talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, special kind of talent.
Is we'll go with that word.
And the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
You're right.
And so, so when I was in a chair, I started playing, and again, it was self-taught, and I wanted to try to make the Paralympics, and had I been injured earlier and played 20 years prior, the level that I was playing at, I would have made the Paralympics. But the level that people play at now, there's no way.
Too high.
It's too high.
Help me understand wheelchair tennis.
Okay, so
you're doing the back and forth still with the wheelchair?
Oh yeah.
So how are you pushing and then grabbing your?
So you always hold the racket.
Okay.
And I have you can't see it with the camera, but I call it my man hand callus.
Okay, I see that right
because
there.
Because when I hold the racket, I push on this
with
hand. I grab both the wheelchair push rim and the tire.
Okay.
On this hand, I just grab. I have a special grip tape.
Yeah.
That's I can show it to you later. But what I use that for is I use the push rim, but I can't grab both the push rim and the tire.
Yeah.
Because I'm holding
but you can get that
my
push
racket.
rim right on the palm
and
of
I
the
hit
thumb.
exactly and on that grip tape. And so that's what I use.
Okay.
And when you're playing tennis, wheelchair tennis, the only adaptive rule is that you're allowed 2 bounces.
Oh.
So picture playing singles in a chair, and you have to cover the whole half of your court.
Interesting.
And there's doubles as well. Same rule, but that's the only different thing. So right now, the French Open, today's the last day of the French Open. Mm-hmm. There are wheelchair professionals. They play under the International Tennis Federation, ITF.
Okay.
And they only invite a small number of people to come, but there are wheelchair players who play at the French Open. They're part of the French Open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome that it's gotten to a place where now they have them doing it like that.
And they play at the
tournament.
Grand Slams. They play at all the Grand Slams, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
You know,
the world's
even
opening
Wimbledon
up for people
with grass.
like us.
Yeah, even Wimbledon on grass.
Oh, that is cool.
Yep.
Dang.
Yep.
Yeah, the world is opening up for more people like us.
It's got a long way to go, but it's come a long way.
Definitely.
You know? And so in wheelchair tennis, you don't hit a 2-handed backhand.
Okay.
Because if you don't get to the ball, you can't hit it.
Yeah.
And you have to push.
So you're pushing and then just one hand going over, getting it over.
And what I had a coach, and he taught me, like, when I'm pushing, I'm going for a ball, our little thing was push, stab.
Okay.
And then you turn and get back. Try to get back out of the court.
Because if you get back, you have 2 bounces, so then you can go diagonally to which way the ball's going.
Because we can't go laterally.
Yeah, okay. To then set you up. Okay.
And if you're playing against a really good player,
what an interesting way to play tennis. Gosh.
And if you're playing against a really good person, they'll just hit the ball by you.
Okay.
But you really work on movement. Chair movement is imperative in wheelchair, like in those types of wheelchair sports, because if you oftentimes after tournament's over, we'll have volunteers that come and they get the balls for us and they kind of ball run for us and that type of thing.
Cool.
And usually they're like maybe high school students that need volunteer hours or a local college tennis team. They will come.
Cool.
And at one actually it was a pickleball tournament, a pickleball clinic. I convinced the coaches and the players to get it. Actually, no, it's a tennis tournament. I'm sorry. I convinced the coaches and the college tennis players to get in chairs.
Oh yeah, and try it out.
And try it out.
How'd that go?
And these were like college scholarship
actual
players,
tennis players.
And there were a couple of them. It didn't matter what you put them in; they just nailed the ball.
Really?
Oh yeah. Now they
impressive.
couldn't move.
I was gonna say because most people can't control a wheelchair, especially a sport wheelchair.
Yes, sports wheelchairs are extremely responsive.
Yeah, so touchy.
And I jokingly tell people, man, it's like you can sit in that thing and spin so fast you'll hurl.
Yeah.
Without even trying.
Oh yeah,
and
I do it with my daughter to get her all dizzy and then let her walk away.
Exactly, exactly. And going in a straight line is difficult.
Yes, yeah.
It's easier to go that way than go straight. So, yeah,
definitely.
But so
that's cool.
I play wheelchair tennis. I play wheelchair pickleball.
Okay.
I play. I'm starting to get back into basketball a little bit. I've played a little bit here in the last few months. People are like, "Oh my God, you're really good." I'm like, I am. So anyway.
So you need to stick with it. It sounds like if other people are telling you that.
It's up here. I'm
shine
thinking
bright
about that.
like the prosthetic.
I'm thinking about that. And I do wheelchair curling, which is not like able-bodied. So able-bodied curling, they have the thing that
I was going to ask, so how do you have that person that does the sweeping and stuff?
We don't.
Oh, so it's just the push.
Right. So what sweeping does is it can extend the stone. The stones weigh about 42 pounds.
Okay.
And it can extend the length of the stones.
Yeah.
The distance can go by about 14 feet.
Okay.
And also there's some people that can do what's called directional sweeping. So they can kind of, if the person calling the shots wants it to be right here, they can sweep it from whichever side needs to be swept to get it right here.
Gotcha.
So for us, we use an elongated stick that's about at a minimum of about 6 to 7 feet. Some people have longer ones.
Okay.
And it has a special attachment on the end that rotates the handle of the stone either clockwise or counterclockwise.
So that you can get your spin.
Right. So let me explain what curling is.
Okay.
Because people, they watch it and they kind of think they know, but they kind of really don't.
Yeah.
So if you've ever watched professional bowling, they never aim for the front pin.
Yeah.
They always hook the ball. The hook is the curl.
Okay. So that's... Okay, so you're doing the same thing as bowling with curling and then
ice.
Controlling it more with that turn. Okay.
And so the person who's the skipper, that's the person calling the shots, they have to read the ice real time. It changes.
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 people on each team.
Okay.
And there's also doubles and mixed doubles. But when you have a regular game, it's 4 people on each team, and each person throws 2 stones per end.
Okay.
So that's 8 stones per team each end.
Okay.
And so your goal is to try to have one of your team stones the closest to the small circle. So there's 3 circles.
The one in the
Right.
Okay.
Right. The one in the middle. Then there's a white one. Then there's a blue one.
Okay.
And so you're trying to have one of your team stones as closest to the center.
Okay.
So if you have 5 stones, what we call inside the house, inside that outside ring, you have 5 stones in there. But I have one that's closest to the center, which we call the button, the dead center.
Okay.
I get 1 point, you get none.
Oh, okay, because you're the one that's closest in, so nothing else matters.
Nothing else
Can you
matters.
knock them out too?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's like bocce ball in a way.
Yeah. So you can knock them out, and there's way like if you do what's called a takeout, that's knocking the stone out. So if you do a takeout and you hit their stone like on the nose, like dead center, your stone will stick and theirs will go out.
Okay.
But if you hit it off center, especially on the side,
yours
you're both
bounces.
going out.
Yeah.
You're both going out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So there's times that you want what's called a hit and stick. That's where you hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose and you stick around.
Okay.
Versus,
getting out and clearing both of you guys out, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so right now, I'm not disabled enough to play on our national team or even try out for it because I know. That's what I thought.
How does that? You're missing a leg.
That's what I thought. No.
There's levels of what disability, like how bad someone is disabled.
So
I'm gonna
evidently when
they're gonna
the
put
sport
me at
was
the top
originally
of the list.
Actually you would be. In the beginning when it was created, I've heard a couple of different stories. The one that I tend to believe more is that the person who started it did not want amputees to come in and take over the sport.
Okay.
And that's happened with basketball. That's happened with sled hockey. That's happened with a lot of other sports because, one of the best sled hockey players in the country, maybe in the world, he is a congenital. So he was born with no legs at the hip.
Okay.
He is lightning fast.
Okay.
Because he has no weight.
Yeah.
And he's
been doing it his whole life.
He's been doing it his whole life.
Yeah.
He's got huge muscles in his arms. And so he can just fly down the court.
Yeah.
But when you're a paraplegic, then you have these heavy legs, roughly 20 pounds each, if not more.
Yeah.
And, that slows you down. Plus, they get in the way. Yeah. So amputees have really taken over like basketball and a lot of other sports.
It's interesting because they should have just like from my golf tournaments, they should have classes because I think that's unfair just to it's hard to say you can't do it because you're only an amputee. Well, I'm an amputee, so I need an avenue to be able to go out to.
Here's the thing. The way the rules are currently written, if I was an amputee at the hip, one hip, and had a normal other leg, or if I was a double above the amputee, or if I was paralyzed, then I could play. I could actually try out for the national team.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
It is the way it is. Yeah. And because there aren't enough people in the world in chairs in countries that do wheelchair curling to maintain that, the sport is going to self-extinct. So right now they're finally open to letting amputees
good.
Be able to try out for national teams.
It's how there's going to be more amputees that are going to want to be doing things active, like stuff like that, than there are going to be people like me, right? So,
man, child, please.
Well,
playing curling, you sit your behind down for 2 hours on the ice.
Do you have to bend over?
No, you lean to the side.
Okay.
So you lean to the side.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it.
You could.
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but you're sitting on the ice for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's what I would do.
Okay.
If you'll allow me to be if they allow me to be a sweeper.
Oh yeah.
Push me down the ice. I'll just lay on the side and just sweep as I'm sliding. You know what I mean?
That would be awesome.
Yes.
That would be
just
so
sliding
cool.
down the ice.
Actually, wouldn't be cool.
It would be called. Right. I'm game for that. But.
Well, I'm waiting for somebody to figure out somebody to create a wheelchair that you can move laterally in.
Yeah, so that you can have someone doing the sweeping.
Yeah.
I mean, I already got your solution. Just put sleds underneath the wheel, lock the brakes, and push.
But your sleds would have to be able to turn sideways.
Yeah, you can put a little bracket on it.
Okay, maybe.
I feel like that could work.
Maybe.
But I also might just be crazy, but
we already know that.
Yeah, we do know that.
That's a given.
We do know that.
Yeah. No,
well, that is cool though. And it's cool that they're starting to let the amputees in, because I think that's just like we were talking about earlier, where like you said, people paralyzed saying that you're not really disabled if you have an amputation. Well, I just think that's unfair, right? Because just like when other people come up and they talk to me and like, let's say they're complaining, not even complaining, but just talking about what they're going through or what they're struggling with. And then almost everyone will always go, well, you don't want to hear it. You're way worse off than me. Like, you know, I shouldn't be complaining around you. Whoa, you didn't have to go through what I went through. I didn't have to go through what you went through. Exactly. Everyone's struggle is different, and it's the biggest thing in the world 100%. To you. 100%. So it's kind of unfair to take that person 100%. Out of that because for you and your amputation, it's the same thing as me and my amputation, paralysis and spine and everything. Right. It's what we have to deal with. Yep. Still got to leave those doors open for us to be able to get those avenues to play sports and have fun and still do things like we did before. So I think it's good that they're opening it up to the amputees.
Yeah. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow the sport to continue.
Yeah. And that's huge. You don't want things to start falling away because there's not many of them. Exactly.
Because so what it is so like going to the Paralympics or going to the World, when you take your full team of 5 or 4 people, you have an extra person. Per the rules, you have to have at least one woman on the ice on your team at all times. Okay. So the backup is always going to be a woman.
See, that's where I disagree. I think we shouldn't have to say that's sexist.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. Hey, if a man beats you, it is what it is.
And if a woman beats you, you're going to go hide your head and be shamed.
That's fair, but you get the spot, you know? I'm just kidding.
In all seriousness, no, I love that. No. In all seriousness, it's one of the few sports that's a mixed gender sport that they make it so you have to have at least one woman on the ice at all times.
The inclusion part of that, it's really cool because then you have the opportunity. Because for sure, if there's a man that has the same exact injury as you, that's bigger and stronger, then potentially he's going to be better and have that shot.
No, because
potentially
every on your team of a 4-person roster team, 4-person roster team, each person has a role.
Okay.
So you have a lead. Oftentimes,
we're talking about curling.
Yeah, oftentimes their job as the lead is to set up.
I was thinking basketball.
Is to set up. Well, yeah,
sorry.
But that's based on points.
Yeah, I just
your disability level.
Okay, I got on the wrong sport.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
well, we can talk a little bit about all that. Yeah. Not a problem. But the lead, usually their job is to put up a guard, which is almost like a pick in basketball. So you're putting a stone here to make your opponent have to go around you to get closer to the center.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and then the second, that you can be asked to throw a guard, you can be asked to draw a takeout, you could be asked to throw the stone to the center.
Okay.
So you kind of are the most versatile person. And the vice skip, you just call the vice. They are like the second. They can be called to do anything.
Okay.
And then the skipper, oftentimes they're asked to throw a circus shot.
They're like the last one to go do what they can do to try to get the point. And
so,
which one are you?
I'm second.
Oh, okay.
I'm second.
Cool.
And oftentimes the teams will make the woman their lead.
Okay.
But I can throw a stone. Probably the hardest on the four people team for our community team out of Charlotte, out of Charlotte. And now I didn't say I was accurate when I throw that hard.
That's
but
fair.
I can throw really hard. So
you're definitely you're not weak. You're pretty strong. You got shoulders on you too.
I'm sore from flexing. I gotta stop. But everybody has a lead and has a role. And the interesting thing is, people that throw vice or skip, because those are like your team captain and vice captain.
Yeah.
The guys, they really want to do that. And nobody wants to throw lead, but your lead is extremely important, because if that person doesn't set your end up right, guess what? You're probably going to lose that end.
Okay.
And
because then everyone else's job is messed up following them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the skippers think it's like chess. The skipper's thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead to say, okay, well, all right, we're here. They're probably going to call this shot, so my next shot needs to be this. But what interrupts all of that is when you don't throw what the skip asked you to throw, because they tell you a position to aim at. So they're like I said, they're reading the curl, right? And they'll tell you aiming at this, and then they tell you the weight or how fast you need to push it or how hard.
Okay.
And so you may totally miss the target, and you may totally miss the weight, and guess what? You end up with a better shot. And totally by accident. But you never say that.
Yeah.
It's just like I drew it up in my head.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's your plan B. Sometimes I have a plan H.
Yeah. The plan is just whatever happens, honestly.
Exactly. And you're like, sorry, Skip. Mea culpa.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's a very collegial sport.
That's a lot more strategy than I thought going into that.
Way a lot more. And but even when you lose in curling, you win, because there's oftentimes alcohol involved.
Oh. Count me in. Right? Whenever the next one is, just go ahead and
absolutely.
Why do you think I golf?
So what you do is, when you're playing even league or a tournament, the winning team buys a drink for their corresponding person.
Okay.
On the losing team.
Oh, that's cool.
And a drink, like in just about every club. I mean, our club in Charlotte, we have a pretty decent selection of whatever you want, but but your drink could be a bottle of water, it could be a beer, it could be a soda, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be alcohol, but it can be.
Yeah.
So it kind of softens the blow of not winning.
No, that's cool. The camaraderie of that too, of the teams playing together against each other, and then going and having a drink together.
It's like joining a curling club. You now have 300 new friends.
Yeah, that's cool.
I get chills thinking about it, because it's such a collegial sport.
I do feel like that's something that, and granted, even when you're not an amputee, right? It's why I encourage that every single kid should play sports, because that's where you meet your best 100%. Friends for the most part, right?
But it teaches you, sports teaches you, especially as a child, about, you don't understand it or know it, but you're learning about
discipline,
being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
It teaches you discipline.
Yep.
It teaches you leadership skills, even if you're not the captain.
Yeah.
And it teaches you how to interact with other people.
Yep.
Because you may have a teammate that you hate, but that's really good. but they may be a jerk, but you still have to interact with them
so
that neither one of you gets beat up.
No one wants to lose, no matter how much you don't like the other person.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think sports are imperative, and I think as far as for people that have a disability, especially an acquired one, meaning you were born normal and something happened that made you end up becoming disabled.
Yeah.
I think disabled sports are amazing because what it does is it gets you in a different state mentally. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, now all of a sudden you're a part of something and you have to focus on what you can do.
I like that.
And how you can be a better teammate.
Yeah.
You know?
That's cool.
And even in individual sports, come on, we all have some competitiveness.
Of course.
Nobody likes to win. I mean, to lose.
Or
Nobody likes to lose.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to lose. Everybody wants to win.
Exactly.
I mean, why else do you show up to play?
Yeah.
Or compete?
It's the only reason why you go out and compete. Yeah.
You know? So I think for people with acquired disabilities, I think sports are almost imperative. And it's frustrating that Medicare and insurance companies will not pay for sports chairs.
Yes, ma'am.
And sports equipment.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm spoiled because I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
And I'm able to get whatever I need. I just have to show proof that I'm doing it. I'm using it.
Yeah.
I'll be using the equipment.
That's cool.
And it's not going to be a waste. But
That's
pretty
big.
much whatever you want, if you just show, like a letter from your coach or whatever saying, yes, they participate every week or they do whatever.
Yeah.
And oftentimes organizations like a basketball team may have extra chairs that you can borrow.
Oh, that's cool.
Until you can get one of your own. And then there's other organizations like the Challenged Athlete Foundation.
Yeah, you told me about that earlier.
Like the Kelly Brush Foundation is for people that are paralyzed with a spinal cord injury, not a spinal cord disease. Whole nother story.
Okay.
So like MS is a spinal cord disease.
Yeah.
But like paralysis from a spinal cord injury.
Yeah.
That's an injury.
Yeah.
So you could apply for like the Kelly Brush Foundation.
Okay.
To get sports equipment. And there's like I wish I had it here to tell you on camera, but I can give it to you so you can publish it later. But there's a list. An organization has put together this list that basically shows just about every organization in the country that you can apply to and what the criteria are.
That's awesome.
So
because that's one thing we had talked about a little bit earlier is I want to get into stuff. The biggest thing that I wanted to get into at the beginning was wheelchair track and field.
Yeah.
So because I have strong arms, strong forearms.
Yes.
And I've been pushing a wheelchair for 9 years now, and like I know I'd be good at it with my long arms.
Yes, you would be.
But it's so hard to get a wheelchair for it.
I mean,
they're so expensive.
They're so expensive. I mean,
my regular sport wheelchair is $12,000.
Well, your regular chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a sport chair, but it's still that's my every single day I'm in it, literally every single day chair. Yeah. That's $12,000 that I have to replace right now because it's 9 years old. But then I have to go buy a $20,000 wheelchair to go out and do track and field and try to make it to the Paralympics. Right. Well, that's why I'm not at the Paralympics right now.
Right. No,
so
100%.
It's just equipment, 100%. It's not just the leg, right? It's not, you have to go out there, show up and run and have the training and the endurance to go out there and do it. You have to have the equipment when you're like us.
And that's so true.
It's hard.
And now in track, like a track chair, now most people are using a carbon fiber one instead of an aluminum one. So you're shedding weight. Yep. And we all know carbon fiber is at least twice as much expensive as a regular aluminum cycle would be.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very challenging. Extra challenges to be able to get the sports equipment that you need.
Yeah, I think it's something that some people don't realize because I'll have people ask me all the time, like, well, why don't you do wheelchair basketball? Or why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? Why don't you do other sports other than just golf that's hurting you, right?
Right.
And that's the answer. It was hard enough for me to get a prosthetic.
Right.
I mean, that took me almost 3 years to get approved for a prosthetic with my insurance.
That's crazy. But that's normal. That's unfortunately the norm.
It's crazy. Yeah. They expect me not to be able to walk because the doctors put on my notes that I'll never be able to walk again because of the paralysis. So they don't even want to approve anything with me, even when we send videos showing that I can walk to an extent.
Yeah, no, you're walking. Yeah. You're up vertically and your legs are moving.
Now I am. This was like back then.
Gotcha.
But it's like nowadays to now get into something better, right? To go use my body for more stuff, be more active, right? To get that equipment, I mean, it's crazy. Huge. It's so expensive to try to do that. And you were talking about it earlier with the cardiovascular issues and stuff of being in a wheelchair for life. Like, thank you, Jesus, that I've been walking for 2 years now. But with that being said, I spent 7.5 years in a wheelchair full time. We have other people that spend 20, 30 years in a wheelchair, 40 years in a wheelchair full time. Right? And their lives are cut short because they're not doing things throughout that time to keep their cardiovascular system moving and working.
Because
and
insurance
healthy.
won't pay for it.
Because insurance won't pay for it.
Which is
how
a
can the average person go spend over $20,000 on a wheelchair to go exercise?
You can't.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the other thing that you'll find is that anytime you add the label medical on something,
it gets more expensive.
They will increase the price probably 3, 4, 5 times. So I have a little bag under my chair my everyday chair. So everyday chair, sports chairs, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I have a little bag. So I go on Amazon. I go on to an online retailer. No name shall be used.
Oh, you could use
to
names.
protect the innocent or the guilty. And I just find a little like a bag that you would wear over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Just a bag like that.
Yep.
And it'll be $10, $15 maybe. But if I get a medical one that looks almost the exact same, it's like $60.
Yeah, 50,
or 70
$60 to try to get that.
And I'm like,
that's why
okay,
I
that's
use Carhartt
silly.
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Why get the medical stuff?
Right?
I mean, it's so dumb. You're putting money back into these people's pockets that don't care.
So now, whenever I play sports, I go to a venue. That's the other thing is, as an adaptive athlete, you pretty much have to travel to compete against other adaptive athletes because there's not generally a large enough number of people in one metropolitan area for that particular sport or event. So you pretty much have to travel, and you're unless there's a nonprofit organization or something local or CAF, Challenge Athlete Foundation or whatever, you're paying out of pocket for that. And so when I travel, I use my leg to travel because otherwise I'd have to be put in an aisle chair. So when you're being loaded, when you can't walk, you have to be kind of loaded onto the plane. They put you in
45 minutes.
a really thin chair that can barely go through the aisles. And they sit you in there, and you have no control.
15 seatbelts that they put on every single time, no matter what you say.
They won't move you until you buckle all these seatbelts. And they move you backwards, and there's 2 people, and you have zero control. Which is
the most uncomfortable thing. Yeah,
that is terrifying.
I did it one time and haven't done it again since.
Have no control. And I've had going to there's something called the National Veterans Wheelchair Games every year in the summer, and I know of 2 guys who coming to the games were injured and developed a pressure ulcer because when they were transferring them from the aisle chair to their seat on the plane, they dragged their butt. And in both cases, the people using the aisle chair to get you to where your seat is, they didn't know how to lift that armrest on the aisle. So they're like picking the person up instead of just lifting the armrest and then kind of placing them there. Now they have to lift somebody up and over that armrest, and they hit the armrest, but they didn't feel it at the time.
Yeah, of course, you're paralyzed.
And so, so there are other things. There are at least 29 wheelchairs a day on average damaged by the United States air carriers.
Yeah.
So
you should see my wheelchair after my last flight a month ago, and I'm going again on Friday.
Let's think about this. So if you use a wheelchair, your arms are your legs.
Yeah.
And without that wheelchair, you can't get from point A to point B. Now, the other side of that is for people that have neuromuscular diseases or spinal cord injuries or diseases, oftentimes they will have custom seating. So that seat, that custom seat is made for, they do something called pressure mapping, where they sit you down and they have a plate that lets them know where the spots are that are hot, where you have maybe bone on the table or whatever on that pad that they're reading from. And so they make sure that they order a seat that's custom made for you to pad those areas so you don't get skin breakdown.
Typically an air cushion.
Right, right. So you don't get skin breakdown. So if they damage your chair, now not only do you not have legs to go because you don't have the wheels to push, you're in a chair that doesn't fit you.
And you're going to get pressure sores.
You're going to damage your shoulders because oftentimes they're big. And you'll appreciate this. I live in Georgia, therefore I'm married to Delta.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I love Delta because they give you free upgrades to the bulkhead seating, and they're the only airline that does that.
But not only that, Delta has done right by me. So
same.
But the issue is every chair that I've had damaged, they have replaced for me or repaired it for me.
Really?
Yes. But one thing to those out there who are listening to this, when you get your chair up from the hold of the airplane, before you get in your chair, pick it up by the back and make sure the wheels are spinning normally.
Yeah.
Because
they put it on the side when they push it up and down.
They do that. I had my first chair damaged. It was by Delta. Mm-hmm. They managed to they bent the axle 30 degrees. So let me explain what the axle is. The axle is it's a little rod that goes in the center of the chair, the center of the what's called the wheel hub. The plate, it's called the tube, the camber tube. Mm-hmm. And so that little rod is about a ½ inch thick in diameter, and it's stainless steel, and it's about 5 or 6 inches long.
Yep.
So to bend that 30 degrees, that's electric. That's hydraulics.
Yeah.
That's not piling, put luggage on top of it.
No.
They had to really work hard to do that.
Definitely.
And so Delta actually, they replaced it. But what you have to do is if you notice damage on your chair, whether it's cosmetic or functional, you need to make that claim before you leave the terminal.
Oh, that's good to know.
Because if you leave the terminal, their response is, oh, well, you could have just gotten hit by a car. Well, if I got hit by a car, I wouldn't be talking to you on the phone more than likely. I mean,
most likely. Yeah.
Right? So they come up with that. And like, even with Delta, if you don't make the claim while you're still in the terminal, they have a different process, which tells you right then that it's never going to be approved.
To get out of it. Yeah.
And that's like everybody.
Yeah.
But so what I ended up doing is I wrote a letter to the CEO of Delta. His name's Ed Bastian.
Okay. My
opening line, and the assistants and secretaries, whatever assistants who read that, who read those emails, I'm sure. And so I said, Mr. Bastian, I would like to thank you and Delta for contributing $18,000 to the Lisa Maddox Wheelchair Fund. I'm quite sure that got his attention.
Yeah, it sounds like
because he's like, well, what
did.
The hell is that all about?
Yeah.
He read it. So my first chair was damaged. Was my tennis chair. It's titanium.
Oh wow.
It's made by a company called Melrose, smaller company, but they make amazing chairs. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that they bent the axle 30 degrees.
Holy cow.
And so because the wheel wouldn't roll.
Yeah.
That was like even a no-brainer. So that was $6,000. And then my everyday chair by a small company called Performax, they bent that axle only 15 degrees.
Only. That axle is literally, like you said, like this long and solid.
And the amount of force that it would take to bend that rod.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is insane.
Yeah.
And so
I think all the weight that we put onto the chairs all day long that are resting on that axle.
The stress based on gravity.
Yeah. So you're right. It had to have been something hydraulic or something pushing on it.
It had to be something mechanical that did it. It couldn't have just been piling stuff on top of it. That wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. All the little things.
Exactly. And so replacing that everyday chair, because it's pretty what in the Army we used to call high speed, low drag, Teflon coated.
Okay.
And it has a shock underneath it. It's just like a cool chair.
That is fancy.
Custom paint job.
Nice.
Custom fit to my butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my leg length.
I got mine orange
stuff.
And blue for the Gators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, go Gators.
Ooh. But
you a Georgia fan?
I'm a WestPoint.
All right, we're good.
I'm a WestPoint fan.
Yeah, we're good. I was hoping you were going to say that.
Fan, so
we're straight.
So there we go. So they replaced that chair. It was $8,000, but they expedited it, so it was a $2,000 upcharge to expedite it.
Okay.
They paid $10,000 to replace that chair.
Wow.
And that was the replacement for one of the other ones. And then I went to my brother's wedding out in Las Vegas, and I get off the plane, and the back part of the frame that holds the backrest, it was bent like that.
Oh, what the heck?
So again, Delta was very good.
Yeah.
They took care of it.
That's
Everything
good.
was cool.
Awesome.
But I also explained in that email about the lady that I had read about, like a solid case that was documented in a publication that she had died because she ended up getting a loaner chair after her chair was damaged, and she needed custom seating.
Okay.
They couldn't fit her custom seating in the loaner chair.
Yeah.
She ended up with a pressure ulcer, and over time ended up getting becoming septic and passed away because her chair was damaged.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Think about this. If 29 people who were flying on U.S. Airlines ended up with a broken leg mid-flight for whatever reason, I mean, they're on a plane and all of a sudden snap.
Yeah.
There would be outrage.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be lawsuits flying.
Yeah.
There would be people talking to their congressmen and their senators and, again, suing the crap out of the airline and everybody else because that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But what about us?
Yeah, it gets swept under the rug.
It gets swept under the rug. And you can only find, I found those numbers because Tammy Duckworth is a senator from Illinois. She actually came to stand when she was first injured. Okay. She was a helicopter pilot in Iraq.
Oh, wow.
She's a badass.
Sounds like it already.
Oh my God. When she got shot down, before she would allow them to evacuate her, she made sure her weapon was secure, her sidearm.
Wow.
And she made sure her crew, anybody that was injured in her crew, was evacuated before her. She was the worst injured, I think.
Wow.
But she made sure, as a leader, she made sure they were evacuated first.
That's incredible.
So she lost both legs, almost lost her arm, but they did heroics to save her arm. Mm-hmm. And she ended up becoming, she was vice secretary for the VA at one point, and now she's a senator. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, and she's a really nice lady. And I found out in reading an article about her where that number of 29 came from, and it's actually all the airlines have certain matrices, information that they have to provide about different matrix items.
Okay.
So they have to they have to submit their on-time flights, the percentage, the this, the that. I mean, it's pages and pages of stuff they have to present every month to DOT, Department of Transportation.
Okay.
And that's one of them.
And it was on the...
One of the big things I feel is wheelchairs are considered baggage.
Yeah.
I wonder if wheelchairs were considered medical equipment instead of baggage.
If it would change the care and the way that they handled them.
And there's a video, it's an infamous video of these guys at the bottom of a jet bridge, and they had to do it multiple times because somebody who was a passenger sitting there pulled out their phone and started recording.
Oh, okay.
They would send the chair down the stairs, down to the tarmac, and they'd watch it just kind of flip and tumble over.
I've seen that with my own wheelchair happen.
Yes.
Yep.
And I don't want to misspeak because I don't remember which airline. It wasn't Delta, but I can't remember which one. I have an idea, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to.
Yeah.
But again, they had to have done that multiple times because somebody had the foresight to pull out their phone and video it.
Yeah, exactly. There had to have been multiple wheelchairs going down there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've literally seen that happen with my wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I will say it was Alaska.
Yeah.
And I don't fly Alaska anymore for that reason, and because they make you pay full price to go to a seat that has the extended length.
Right.
I don't even fit in a regular seat.
Exactly. Because you're tall to begin with.
I'm over 6'3".
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the leg sticks out another 4 inches farther than my right knee. So if I try to fit inside of a regular seat,
you're not going to fit.
It doesn't happen.
And I ended up having a revision because revision is I had surgery again on my leg because I would sit in a regular seat and my leg was sticking out. Now my knees are
even, pretty
center.
much.
They're even.
Yeah.
But as you know, when you have a leg that's longer, when people recline their seat in front of you, it digs into your hip because it just hits here, and all that force just goes right into your groin.
Yeah, exactly.
And that feels lovely.
Yeah, you can't make enough room on that seat to get your butt back far enough to be able. Yeah, yep.
And so, because I have had people that didn't, I don't know if they realized or didn't care, but when my leg was long, when the length was longer, I'm sitting there and they would like pound on their seat to make me move it, because I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening.
Sorry. Yeah. I actually got a kind of funny story about a flight one time. I was, it was one of the first flights I went on after becoming handicapped and having the leg and everything, right? Yeah. Or cripple, whatever you want to call it. I like cripple.
Handy-abled.
Cripple. So we're not politically correct here, remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Excuse me, sorry. So basically, I'm on this flight, right? And it's a red-eye flight, so it's through the night. And the red-eye flights get real dark when they turn the lights off at night.
Oh yeah.
And I got this like 8-year-old kid across the aisle from me sitting there, and the seat they gave me it didn't have the full leg room that I'm used to. So I ended up just taking my leg off because I didn't want it bouncing against it the whole time and bumping against it and stuff.
Exactly.
So I take my leg off and it's resting in between my leg and the armrest of the seat. And it's just sitting there, right? Middle of the night, I'm starting to fall asleep a little bit. And when I went and I shifted and rotated, I hit the leg on accident and the leg slipped underneath the armrest, right? And falls into the aisle. And when these things fall and they hit the ground, it's loud. You hear it. It's a bang. Like these things are
they weigh about 15 pounds.
Yeah, they weigh about what your leg would weigh. Yeah. So as this thing hits the middle of the airplane floor, it's like a big bang. This 8-year-old kid who's asleep right next to me in the aisle looks down, sees the leg, and just full shock. Like just woke up and sees this leg in the middle of the aisle. Yeah. And his face was just like, and he starts crying and wailing. Everyone starts waking up. The mom is like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. And I pick up the leg and put it back and just look over at him like, do I say something or is this just like, it happened, like let it happen? And so I ended up just like, sorry about that. And this kid's just bawling his eyes out with his mom. Yeah. And I didn't know what to say because this is still new to me. Yeah, it's still new to me too. And I'm like, I'm sorry my leg fell, but I just pretended to go back to sleep.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, the guy's just freaking out. The look on his face was it was priceless. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. It was, So
I will tell you,
I love those little things.
I will tell you, I've had some of the interesting, complicated, and cool questions asked by little kids.
Yes. Yeah.
And I encourage them to ask because less parents are doing it where a child will see you and then the parents like, come on, and they grab them and snatch them away.
Yep.
And so now when the child comes up to me, or stop looking at him. So now when a child comes up to me, I look at the parent and I say, it's really okay.
Yeah.
Let them ask any question they want.
Yeah. Just engage with them.
So I was funny story. I was getting takeout to go up to Charlotte, I think, for tennis or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting for my takeout. And it was a Saturday morning and this family of 4 comes in the door. So the first kid that comes in, he's probably about 8, maybe 8 or 9. He's big brother. Yeah. He comes walking in, dad comes walking in behind him. Mom comes walking in behind dad. Mm-hmm. And then the little one, I call them the itty bitties. Itty bitty was about maybe 3.
Okay.
3, 4. And, he was having a bad Saturday.
Oh, no.
Oh, he was having a bad Saturday. It was just he woke up having a bad day.
Yeah.
And so he's crying and, it's like, oh, y'all left me. I mean, he's just, everything's drama.
3-year-old.
Right.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, toddler syndrome.
Right,
yep,
right.
Sure.
Exactly. So they kind of have left him like, if we ignore him, he'll stop.
Yeah.
But he kind of didn't stop.
Okay.
So I just placed my order. So I knew it was going to be a few minutes before my order came up. Mm-hmm. So I had on shorts. So I walk over to the main aisle where they were waiting in line. And they were all sitting, waiting, because they were probably 10 people back, whatever. So they're just sitting there. And I looked at him and I said, have you ever seen a robot leg? Immediately, he was like, he stopped crying.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I said, it's like, whoa. And big brother, he's cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
He kind of really didn't want to look.
Yeah.
But he kind of had
He wanted to, he was interested, but didn't want to show it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here and the little one's asking me questions and I'm explaining. And one of the sidebar things is, what I found out in general is when little kids ask you a question, like the young one that happened with you on the plane.
Yeah.
They want to know if you're okay.
Yeah.
They want to make sure you're not hurting.
Yeah, it does tend to be that way. Yeah.
So I always tell them, I don't hurt. Everything's better now. I'm good. Yep. And I got a robot leg. Yeah. And so he's just asking, he's so intrigued.
That's
and
cool.
his mom, I looked at his mom mouthed to me.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so when I said, well, I think they're calling my order, so I got to go. It was wonderful meeting you guys. Y'all take care. Take care of mom and dad, okay? Yeah. And they're like, okay. And the little one looks at his mom and says, did you see her robot leg? 180
awesome.
degree
just
turn.
Made that kid's day.
Absolutely. And it was a little thing. It wasn't. And then I met some people. Cool. I was watching a WTA tournament, Women's Tennis Association tournament in Charleston. They have a big tournament there every year, and the winner wins a Volvo. Okay. There's a Volvo plant there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was waiting to get ice cream, which I shouldn't have been getting, but anyway. It was hot and I needed some cold.
Gotta get ice cream sometimes.
Right? You know, gotta live, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this gentleman comes up to me and he says, my son would like to ask you some questions. And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
His name is Legend.
Oh.
The little boy, he's 5 years old at the time. Legend is now probably 10 or 11.
Okay.
I'm like, he put me on the spot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm like a physician and I went to WestPoint, so every cadet at WestPoint is an engineer. So I had to take engineering courses. And this kid's asking me like mechanical engineering type questions. I'm like,
how the leg works, the
like,
the hydraulics.
I'm kind of like, oh, this is is he really only 5? He's like a little person shrunk down. You know, I'm like, oh my God.
Disease, and
I've stayed in touch with his parents and stuff, and it's really, they actually came to one of my tournaments to watch me play. You know, and this little kid, he's in the special school up in Atlanta where by second grade, I think they're fully immersed in a different language.
Wow.
Whatever language they're taking. Yeah. It's like, wow.
Yeah, the kid's like, just
absolutely.
The future president.
Absolutely.
Mark Rober style. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
And then there's one more sport I play. It's called we've changed the name to adaptive. I think it's wheelchair adaptive rugby or something like that because
rugby?
It's different than quad rugby. Quad rugby is really not rugby.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the rules of rugby.
Okay.
But
they be honest, real quick, the only thing I'm envisioning right now are just wheelchairs slamming into each other.
That's the beauty of it, man.
Is it actually what it is?
Dude, heck yeah. So quad rugby, you have these guys that have like muscles, they have biceps, they have triceps, but their hands are not good because of their quadriplegic injury.
Okay.
Right. So they literally will slam into each other. And there are penalties and I'm like,
no way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but they play with like a volleyball because they can't grasp like a rugby ball.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the other one that I play is called in Europe and other countries, it's called wheelchair rugby league.
Okay.
Because in regular rugby, there's rugby league and rugby union.
Okay.
And so rugby league, we play with 5 people on the court on each team. Mm-hmm. We play with a rugby ball, and you can only do lateral passing.
Okay.
We play with flags, like flag football.
Oh, so you're pulling the flags,
right?
Not
so
just slamming
that's a tackle.
into each other.
Well, no. There's some slamming involved.
People are diving off the chairs, tackling people, or just slamming
kind
into
of. I mean, you're strapped in and everything, but wait. There's some really good actors.
Image in my
head.
No.
The image you have is correct.
It's correct.
It's correct. It's 100% correct.
I need to see
100% correct. And what you'd have to do is, in order to not have a penalty called against you, you have to be reaching for the flag when you hit somebody. Okay. And you can only hit the person that has the ball.
Okay.
Now, if you see somebody coming and you see a teammate that's open and you pass them the ball and then somebody hits you, they're not going to call that because your momentum, forward momentum, and everything.
Yeah, hard to stop yourself and
exactly.
For sure.
But if you just randomly slam into, that's a penalty, obviously. So these guys in Europe, they've been playing for 15, 20 years. The U.S. just kind of got involved about 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. And these guys in Europe, man, I went over last year and self-funded, which I couldn't afford, but that's okay. And I was there a month in between Wales and England.
Oh, that's
playing
cool.
with, I was in the coach of the Welsh national team. He enrolled me in he registered me in 2 different leagues.
Okay.
And so I was doing leagues and then I was playing, practicing with another team.
Okay.
And it was the cool. most, I'm still in touch with one of the families over there. I'm like part of their family.
That's awesome.
They're like, so when are you coming back over? Yeah. And given the current political environment, they're like, you really should come back over.
It's a good time to come over.
I'm like, seek asylum. Become an asylum seeker.
We might have another civil war coming soon.
It's a lot more expensive there,
That's okay.
But I had a blast playing. So some of these players, they have it down to a science. It's one move.
Okay.
They're leaning, reaching for the flag, and slamming you all in one move.
At the same time?
All in one move.
I have to see this.
You cannot call a penalty on that.
I have to watch this.
It's amazing. It is amazing. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
And you're like crashing and everything. And
I feel like I would be laughing the whole time, but in a positive way.
You would be. Like you're like
incredible.
People are flipping like crazy, and they flip over and get back up and keep going, and you're like, really?
That's awesome.
It is so cool.
Yeah, that sounds like the best wheelchair sport I've ever heard of.
The bomb.
If I didn't have my back the way that it was, I would want to do that tomorrow.
Yes.
But that's awesome.
Well, and one of the guys here, I wanted to do, I know we got to go soon, but I wanted to do winter, either, what I really wanted to do was skeleton.
Skeleton?
Mm-hmm. It's head first luge.
Oh.
Right.
That sounds like you're gonna.
Yeah, no, I can't. And
yeah,
now
I mean, you already lost a leg. Do you want to break your neck?
I know. I'm not trying to be a
like
quad,
me?
right?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be a quad,
no.
you know. And I met one of the guys who actually does skeleton, and he said, "Oh, the guys with luge, they have it worse." I said, "Wait, but they're on foot first." He said, "Yeah." He said, "We can see easier where we're going because they have their feet in front of them." And I didn't believe me. With my neck the way it is, I'm like, now that I'm older, pain hurts.
Yeah.
And you can end up with pain from sitting on the porch the day before. You have new aches, and you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yep.
And then the next day, you have pain, but you forgot that was the pain that you had from yesterday. You think you got a new one. Oh, wait, nope, it's the same one, right?
Yeah.
That tells you you're getting older.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I guess I'm getting older too.
Right. And so
I understand that.
And so I was like, one of the gentlemen here, he's a veteran as well.
Okay.
And he was the World Cup champion for Monobob.
Okay.
So it's basically just the driver.
Okay.
In a smaller bobsled, and they have a device that pushes everybody who's at the start.
So someone's not running and pushing.
Right.
Yeah,
Nobody's right.
Okay.
So they have a device that pushes everybody. So it pushes everybody with the same force, with the same everything.
Okay.
And his name is Guillermo.
Okay.
And Will was the World Cup champion in Monobob in, I'm going to get this wrong, it was either 22 or 23 in the world. He won World Cup.
That's impressive.
For Monobob.
Wow.
He's an amputee.
Wow.
And he comes in every day and he works out. He also helps other patients, just kind of encouraging them and working with them, walking and running and strength training and that type of thing.
People actually do give back.
And I will tell you though, he's the one that told me that that the X3, the X3 was the first, X2 or X3, I can't remember. No, it's X2. He said, but the X3 was the first one that was waterproof.
Yeah.
And
because I have the X2.
Right. He told me that there was a roof, alcohol, and a pool involved.
Oh.
That's how he knew it was waterproof.
Interesting.
We won't go any further than that.
Sounds.
So
I kind of want to meet this guy.
It's definitely waterproof.
Yeah.
The big dog Sarge.
Big dog Sarge.
He's white and black, and he's like really fluffy. I don't know if he's ever been. When he comes in, he makes his presence known because he howls.
I don't think I.
And he's the sweetest dog. And it's like he comes in and he's like, the king has arrived, and he howls.
Yeah, he's
and
the
then
boss.
He just lays down, and he's just the coolest dog.
That's cool.
His owner is Will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you ever see Sarge, Sarge is pretty cool. Yeah, Sarge is pretty cool. He's a really sweet dog.
That's cool.
But no, Will told me that's how he said. Yeah, that's how I found out it was waterproof for sure. I tested that. I said, thank you.
I like that.
Thank you so much for
Sounds
testing
like a cool guy.
It's a physics experiment.
They told me this thing was waterproof, so I took it in the ocean like 2 days after I got it.
Did it work?
No. It worked for like a week.
Hey, lied, man. Liar.
I had to come back and send it back in.
Oh my gosh. That's harsh.
They did tell me that it's most likely because it was salt water versus fresh water.
Sure.
But ask me how motivated I am to test it in fresh water now.
Yeah.
Not motivated.
That'd be a zero.
Not gonna happen.
So I want to try to make the Paralympics in something, damn it. So right now I'm playing a lot of table tennis.
Okay.
And I never played growing up because like my at that time the boys and the girls club were separate.
Okay.
And so at the boys club, my brother they played pool, they played ping pong, they played basketball, they did all these sports. For girls, we learned how to crochet, sew, and cross stitch.
That doesn't.
I learned nothing about ping pong. I'm like, really?
Not down your alley for who you are.
No. So I'm like, I mean, I still cross stitch. I love cross stitch.
Okay,
so you know what I mean.
You learned something out of it at least.
Yeah. But I'm like, I would have loved. Cool. So I'm starting.
You gotta try to find your thing, your niche, to be able to make it to the
I'm starting literally from zero.
Okay.
And one of the things is there are not there. I don't know if there are any women right now. Officially on the U.S. para table tennis team. Okay,
so that would be cool if you could make that.
That's one. And the other one is para pistols, air pistols.
Oh, cool.
There are no women shooting para air pistols.
Oh, that would be cool.
At all. So I've been in touch with the coach. I got to get back in touch with her. She's told me like which brand to buy. Awesome. And all that, and I just got to read and learn all the details of the air cartridge and all of that
it's
stuff.
different than a regular gun. Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
And the company that I would go through, they actually make a custom stock based on your hand.
Oh, cool.
Or a custom grip.
Holy cow.
A custom grip.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if you remember the last Paralympics where it's like I think he was from the Ukraine, and he was like a dad. He had on like dad jeans and a t-shirt, and he won the gold.
Yeah.
And it wasn't I'm sorry, it was regular air pistol.
Yeah, the dude that just like won.
Yes.
I saw that.
And so
homie looked like he was ready to grab a beer the whole time.
Exactly. Let's get a piece and some beer and some wings, you know? Yeah,
oh, by the way.
Yeah. Don't stand there because I'll shoot your legs out. So that's what air pistols like. And the thing about air pistol is you're not supported. So if you do air rifles, you're supported.
Then you're supported on the what's it called?
Either the ground, or because you can do it supine, or you can do like on a table.
Yeah.
But with air pistol, you're just holding it, and you don't really realize how much of a wobble you have.
Oh yeah. Well, even if you try to grab like a 9mm while standing,
and you're aiming at a target, and it's like, oh wow, the target keeps moving.
No, I keep
that's
moving.
My hand.
Yeah. That's the slow trigger squeeze. Try to surprise yourself as soon as you get to that.
Exactly. So you have to bring your weapon up, you bring your pistol up, and you hold until you stop, because everybody does it.
Yep.
And so it's a natural thing, and you have to kind of wait till that slows down.
Yeah.
And then you can fire.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
So I'm looking at and in fact, when I leave here, I'm gonna go. There's a racket club here in town.
Okay.
They do table tennis, pickleball, and badminton.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna do badminton, wheelchair badminton, but my leg's too long.
Oh.
Don't ask. It's another story.
My thing because I would love to make it to the Paralympics at some point too, right?
Yeah.
I would like to be able to say that I'm going to be doing it in seated volleyball. Okay. Because I tried seated volleyball back in the day, and I've played every sport growing up. I was very good at volleyball growing up. My sister played 4 years of college volleyball.
Well, you're tall.
Yeah.
So you can smash.
And I was a pitcher for baseball for my entire life, and so volleyball was my thing, right? And then my sister's a college setter for 4 years. Now she's a assistant athletic director, so she's like all sports too.
Yeah.
But we grew up setting and hitting to each other and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So as soon as this all happened, I went out and I tried to do the sit down volleyball with a guy who's on the actual team for the last 5 Paralympics at this point now. And when I tried it out, I was decent at it, but I have zero butt. Like when I tell you zero butt, like I'm paralyzed from the waist down, right? So all of that muscle was atrophied. When I came out of the hospital, I had zero muscle, right?
Wow.
I went from 180 pounds to 100 pounds.
Wow.
And
At 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3".
Wow.
Yep. And so like I lost. Well, I was fighting for my life for months.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So the atrophy that it takes all the muscle out of your body. Like,
and when you're in the ICU, there's a thing known as it's muscular atrophy from being in the ICU.
Yep. Yeah. And I was in the ICU for months.
Yeah.
So, when you look down, like my chest was just ribs, right? And like if I tried to flex, it was like you couldn't even see a tendon, right? You're just looking at like bone. So I lost everything. And when I started getting my upper body back and everything, nothing came back in my lower body, of course, because I was still completely paralyzed. Mm-hmm. So when I tried to do the sit down volleyball, I'm bouncing on 2 butt bones. And what that does to my spine, which at the time was even worse than it is now and completely locked up with rods in a cage, it was like a no-go for me. So I still want to, nowadays, now that I'm better and I'm stronger and I can deal with the pain in my spine more, I want to try sit down volleyball again. But I heard that at the next Paralympics, golf is being introduced as a sport. So I think I know what I got to do. It's going to be golf. So, and
have you ever tried the paraglider?
Yeah, I have the cart that stands up. So I have the other one. I have the Verticat from Stand Up and Play Foundation. Thank you very much, Mr. Anthony Netto.
Awesome.
And it stands you completely up. But what I do actually, I take a step off of it, and I don't like to use assisted devices. Right. I drove completely paralyzed. I became the fastest paraplegic in the world racing cars, completely paralyzed without using hand controls.
That is cool.
Picking up my legs and pushing them down on the pedals.
You know that's
so now I don't do it for golf either.
That's a little bit dangerous, though.
Is it? Oh no, I don't think anyone told me that. I probably would have stopped if they told me that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you would have stopped. Not.
No, yeah. I'm supposed to, for a long time, I don't know what statute of limitations is, but for a long time, I drove illegally because you can't drive without hand controls when you're paralyzed, right? And so I did that across the country with a trailer behind me and pulling my race car and stuff like that. And then also almost 200 miles an hour in the quarter mile.
You are so special.
Yeah, my mom always told me that.
Spesh.
A different kind of, yeah, exactly. The capital spesh. Yeah, I did hit head first. And they told me I was going to come out like mashed potatoes. Right. But I'm a little bit better than that. But no. So golf.
You're a whole potato, excited. Not a mashed potato.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm slightly mashed. But just don't ask my wife. But yeah, so golf is the goal. But
yeah.
All right, Miss Lisa, we're at 1 hour and 18 minutes. So I'm going to end this with a couple questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
When you dream at night, do you have a leg or are you missing your leg in your dreams?
Both.
Really?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't always dream a specific way. You see yourself without the leg and with the leg in your dreams.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Is there one that like stands out more to you, or does it seem like you just kind of go back and forth?
Goes back and forth, and I've not been able to correlate it with like activity that I'm doing during the day or anything specific. It's just sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I never dream of myself with my prosthetic. I'm always two-legged. I'm always playing football or doing something.
Yeah.
I still have, I don't know why,
and when I do, like, it's like I'll dream, but I don't have a prosthetic. I'll have like be using crutches or a chair or something. I don't,
Yeah, but you're still missing your leg.
But I'm missing a leg. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Okay, our minds are so crazy,
totally.
Right?
100%.
It's really weird how they perceive things when we're in our dream state. So that's why I like to know that. So because my dad will tell me the reason I dream like that is because I haven't accepted my situation, which to an extent I agree with because I don't want to accept it. But I'm always curious too, because with the different people and the different attitudes, does it correlate over to your dreams? Like, do you accept your situation, which
maybe
you made
not.
your decision to cut your leg?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't.
Yeah, maybe you're more accepting into it, or maybe it's just.
It's just our brains, my personality, whatever,
Yeah, but I just find that interesting. I like to ask.
Yeah,
cool.
Should I tell you?
Go ahead. No. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, should I tell you how I injured my neck?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you got 2 ruptured discs right now. You got me beat. That's rare.
Got real quickly. I got asked by Wounded Warrior Foundation. They had some sort of survey thing, and I answered it, and so they reached out to me, and I got to fly with this group called Vandy One.
Okay.
And they're all ex-military pilots. Thunderbirds, Blue Angels, test pilots. One of the guys was the person who had the most number of flight hours in an F-14.
Holy cow.
And there's a picture of him flying on a knife turn where a knife's edge, and he's flying right next to the USS America.
Oh.
And he looks like, you can see his helmet.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like right next to it. People said that it was like spontaneous. No, it was staged. It was planned. They had the official Navy photographer there and everything.
Makes sense.
And he could fly pretty much anything. And so we were flying in formation, and the guy who was in front was not a military pilot. His father had gifted him a P-51 Mustang.
Oh, wow.
So he started warbling.
P-51 Mustang is a gift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Look up what that plane is if you don't know what it is.
They were poor. Anyway, and
that doesn't line up, but
I'm usually sarcastic, so don't really believe most of what I say. So there was a private citizen who had bought 2 former Soviet Eastern European fighter jets.
Okay.
So he had loaned them to Vandy One to fly them.
Okay.
And he paid for everything, like the fuel. He paid for everything.
Wow.
And so I was in a Parisian jet, and the pilot's name was Dale Snodgrass.
Okay.
And so when you're flying that closely to other planes, you are not on instruments.
Okay.
You have to look.
So all on site.
Exactly. So we're flying, and he's looking up to see. The P-51 was in front of him to our left.
Okay.
And then one of the fighter jets was on either.
That's
in the back end. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's
And we're
insane.
flying in formation. We did like a barrel roll and all this stuff. It was the coolest thing ever. Like ever.
That's got to be the best experience. Yeah.
Right?
You can't match that.
No.
Yeah.
And so because the guy in front started warbling, Dale, we descended, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet, whatever, in like 2 seconds, because he's like, you guys okay back there? And we're like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I don't like to touch paint when we're flying. I'm like, I'm glad you don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there was a reporter sitting next to me, and you can, if you look up my name, you can find it. It's out on the internet. I know it was the Association of
Lisa Maddox.
Yeah, the American Association of Pilots organization. It's like AOPA or something.
Okay.
They had an article. They did an article as well. And cool. And there's this picture of me like with this stupid grin on my face. Yeah. You know, because when I was in the fighter jet, and one of the pilots, he's like, his call sign was Jethro. He's like, hey Maddox. I'm like, yeah. He went to the Naval Academy. He's like, don't touch any of those rods or wires back there. I'm like, okay. I'm just seeing this, you know.
Yeah, go straight down.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'm here. And so when the reporter was sitting next to me, after Dale said that, she turns her body and is like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, are you okay? So we hit our heads on the canopy.
Oh my goodness!
Immediately, I had stingers.
When he did the down,
because we just went, whoop,
yeah,
and our heads went up. We weren't in like a 5-point restraint.
Okay,
it was more like a seatbelt, like a regular seatbelt. So we hit the canopy, and I had immediate stingers, nauseated as all get out.
Holy cow!
Headache, horrible headache, and that's when my friends were like, you know, wonder if you had a concussion. Now these are the same friends. When I told them that I was finally diagnosed with ADD as an adult after going through WestPoint in med school, that. I know, right? After WestPoint in med school, they're like, "Oh, we knew. We thought you were medicated." And I looked at them and I said, "Well, obviously it wasn't working. I wasn't. The medicine wasn't working. Yeah. You know,
you knew I was.
You guys knew I didn't. You know." So after that, we landed, and I was being rotated in to go into the fighter jet, and my brother was there. He was just kind of taking pictures and videos and stuff and helping out. And he goes, "You gonna go up in the fighter jet?" I said, "Hell yeah!"
You can't say no to that. Yeah, of course.
I had no sense.
That's awesome.
It was the best.
That is what an experience.
Cool. It was so
it's worth the ruptured disc.
Absolutely,
honestly,
100%.
Yeah, I would say you'd probably do it again if it meant you're going to go out there and make it worse. Yeah,
100%.
That's so cool.
But that's literally
amazing.
What kept me from wanting to do skeleton.
Okay.
And then the monobob, like Will.
I could definitely see that.
Will said, "Yeah, when you're training, man, you're like sitting here and you're like this, and your head's cocked." When you're
already feeling your neck. You're like, exactly. Probably not.
When you crash, he's like, you're going down the course like this.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun with two ruptured discs in the neck.
Yeah. I don't want to be a quad. So you were to ask another question. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It wasn't necessarily the question as much as it was going to be just, you know, first of all, I love doing this, and you're a big reason of why I love doing this, because I mean, we've sat here for almost an hour and a half now talking about stories back and forth about what? About the things that we've done.
Yes.
Right. And one big thing that is told, here comes the chills. Yes. And what we want to do. Right. This is something that's like, it's always emotional to me talking about it, because I always remember back to hearing it nonstop. But everyone's injury is different. But every time you get into a box like this, they tell you things that you can't do. It's not what you can do.
Correct.
Right. And so for me, it was, I'm not going to be able to do anything, right? It was hopefully transfer from a wheelchair with a sliding board to a bed by myself in the near future. Not in the near future, the far future, actually.
Right.
Right. And so I know that I guarantee people have put you in a box too when it happened to you, right? That, you know, you're going to be limited. You can't do these things. And so this podcast isn't just about encouragement and showing you guys perspective of, you know, the millions and millions of people out there that struggle to get out of bed every single morning when they have perfectly abled bodies, but they don't have any motivation to go out and do things throughout the day or push themselves to do something different or more throughout the day or get better or healthy or whatever the case may be, right? And then you have amazing people like Lisa.
Well, thank you.
When something like this happens, right, and you get put in that quote unquote box, and you still do everything, if not more, right?
And I've had my own battles with depression.
Of course.
That was well before this.
Before the amputation. Amputation probably gave you perspective or...
I think because I had to make the decision.
Yeah.
I think it was different. For you, it was not that. You woke up and were like you are.
I still had to make the decision technically because I came out of a coma and they basically told me you can decide to cut it off now or you could decide later to cut it off and we'll have to cut it off higher. But basically at that point it was like either way you're going to have to cut it off. So I had to tell them
to do it.
You know, take it at the knee.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's just, it doesn't matter who you are when you go through things like this. doesn't matter who your doctor is, right? Until you find a place like POA, everyone's going to tell you things that you can't do, not the things that you can do, right? And that's what I ran into for the entirety of my life after this happened. And almost everyone I meet tells me the same exact story as we go through it, right? And so I think that the biggest thing that I would love for people to take away from today with Lisa and with your attitude and with everything that you're doing, from going in fighter jets to skiing, just fighter skiing. Yeah.
Sorry. No. I don't want to blow the guy's eardrums out.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, right? You've taken it and gone so much farther, and shooting for the Paralympics now, doing all the different sports, tennis, table tennis.
My ass is old, so it's the rest of me.
Well, you did say you were born in the 60s, which means you're like my parents' age, so it's very impressive, even more so.
Much.
I hate to say it.
Thank you so much.
I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean?
My birthday was this past Wednesday.
Hope and pray. Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How old?
58.
Okay. Yeah, you're not in your 60s?
So,
all right.
Not yet. I'm close.
Yeah. My dad was born in the 60s, but he's already in the 60s. So,
Gotcha.
But a little bit earlier in the 60s, I guess,
you could have been my kid.
That dude is old. But yeah, I could be your kid.
That dude is old. Yeah. That's awesome. Does he know?
Yeah, he's decrepit. What you mean? He just got a new knee, thinks he's like me now.
New knee?
Yeah. Different story. But no, you're amazing. And I just want that to be, thank you.
You really are.
Thank you. But this is about you today. And so it's
thank you.
It's something that I just like to talk about, and I want people to understand and see when they're watching this. It's not just the jokes and the funniness that we're going through. Right. It's the hard times that you had to go through to get to this.
And nobody's around to see it.
Yeah, they see this side of you. They see this side of me, the fun part, right? Being able to joke around about these things.
Exactly.
But everyone has the hard times to get to this. And it's not that you don't have them. It's the fact that you can pick yourself up and get through them, right?
Exactly.
So that's what I hope people can learn from today, is that it's not the hard times don't exist, right? I ruptured a disc in my spine 2 weeks ago on the last vertebrae I have left that is not locked up with rods in a cage that has 5 degrees of bend and twist.
Wow.
So that hurts. And that was like 2 days of full depression for me, because I couldn't even walk. I couldn't put weight on my legs. And I consider myself a beast. Pain can't put me down. There's no pain that can make me stop doing what I'm doing. But it did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like we all go through this stuff, but then we just keep moving forward, right?
Well, there's really, you have two options. To give up,
sit in the chair,
or get going.
Yep.
And whatever get going means for you as an individual.
Yep, because it's different for everyone.
And one of the things you were saying when I was seeing patients at the VA, they would see my leg and they'd be like, Doc, because I'm a veteran as well, and they'd be like, Doc, you're such an inspiration. It's like, I haven't gone through nearly what you have, and exactly what you said is what I would tell them. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're going through, that's huge to you.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
And we all have different perspectives and different experiences.
Yep.
And so, and I'm talking to them about, knees or shoulders or whatever, and having to get surgery or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've had so many surgeries, and you have too, that it's kind of like another surgery. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
Let's just do it.
Yep.
But for a lot of people, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And also the possibility or prospect that they may not be able to support their family anymore. Mm-hmm. Or maybe less of a person. You know what I mean? And so it's like, no, what you're going through is it's all the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of it depends on your support system.
Yeah,
it depends on you.
Yeah.
But it also depends on your support system, so that when you have those crappy days, you can call somebody or talk to somebody who says, we still love you.
Yeah.
You're still the person you are.
Yeah, that still treat you the same way.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's huge, to have support system, at least one person or one organization, like for me, like a veterans organization, or something like that, where you can talk to somebody. And the key is to pick that phone up.
Yeah, it is.
Or to meet with that person.
Yeah.
Because
and
if
having
you don't,
the conversation, not just holding it in.
Because if you don't pick that phone up, no one can help you, and nobody
can answer
will.
if you don't call them.
They can't. Exactly.
Yeah. Same thing with praying and stuff like that. Jesus can't answer your prayers if you don't talk to him.
Exactly.
And I said this on a couple episodes before, and I should probably start saying it on every single one. My Instagram is linked in the bio. And if anyone just needs someone to talk to, or just wants to complain about things, or needs advice, or whatever the case may be, if you don't have that person in your life, you know, reach out. It's not going to hurt anyone's feelings. No one's going to look at you or judge you for it, right? We've all been through some stuff. We've all
been through it. Yes.
But support is huge. Talking to people is huge. Just continuing to move forward. That's so big.
if you need somebody to yell at in the middle of the night or scream or just tell you stupid dad jokes, I'm your person.
Yeah, just call.
I'm
just
really good at that.
Just pick up the phone, like you said.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's always someone out there that cares.
Yep.
And sometimes, you know, I'm one of the worst at it because I feel like I don't want to bother someone.
That's
right?
it.
Yeah.
I think most of us are that way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're massively independent.
Yeah. I don't even call my family, right? If I'm going through a hard time, I deal with it myself, but that's not the right way to do things. And so even I'm working on it still to this day, 9 years after the accident. I still struggle nonstop about calling people and talking to people about the things I go through.
Yeah.
I found out that I did not qualify for the Adaptive US Open for the second year in a row. 2 days ago, I found out when I shot a 79. And that was depressing because I worked really freaking hard for the past year, put through a lot of pain, cracking my back as I swing, wanting to quit and give up so many times. But I didn't reach out to anyone, and I struggled for a full day because I didn't want to embarrass myself, right? I didn't want to call someone and talk to them. I didn't want to bother them with my problems.
Right.
So we all struggle with it. We're not perfect just because we go out and we do things, right? We all struggle with it. So
exactly.
Yeah, if you're out there watching and you're struggling with something, even if you have all your limbs, all your legs, everything is handy dandy with the body, right? We all struggle with things. Just talk to people. Don't be scared to reach out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this let us
100%.
be an example of
100%.
what you can do if you are missing a leg or if you are going through something or you're having a knee problem or a shoulder problem or whatever the case may be, right? Yep. Just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. And for the amount of people out there that I know you have met too, right? So many people that are new to having an amputation and they set their leg to the side because it's uncomfortable and it hurts, right? And they don't get on it and they don't go outside and walk. Well, let me tell you, there's people like me out there that wish and pray every day that I could feel my legs and get up and walk and feel that pain from the prosthetic. So get up and walk and use it. Look at Miss Lisa with what she's doing, right? So much farther ahead of what I'm doing and so many other people out there because she just continues to do it, right?
And Stan used to do a course for other prosthetists, and he did it with this gentleman, Judge Jack Farley. And one of the sayings that they had was, if the leg doesn't fit, the amputee will sit. That's the most simple way to say it. And if you're listening to this and you have a prosthetic and it's not fitting properly, you're getting blisters, you're getting sores, you're getting numbness, tingling, you're getting whatever. Think about this. You may not want to leave your prosthetist because he or she is, quote, a good guy or a good woman. But if your auto mechanic was working on your car and you continued to have the same problem over and over and over again, but you didn't want to leave him because he was a good guy, guess what? You'd leave him because your car wasn't working.
Yeah.
So now you have something that is a prosthetic, that's an exterior part of your body. And if that's not working, you don't want to leave that person because they're a good person. Yeah. But if you can't function with it, you need to find somebody that can.
Amen.
I'm not going to say you have to come here.
No.
Because he does have a lot of patients here that come from all over the world.
Accepting a lot of patients right now. They're so busy.
Yeah.
But there's other people out there.
Right. But you need to keep trying, keep looking for different prosthetists until you find somebody who's not going to blame you.
Yes.
For because they can't make the prosthetic properly.
Yeah.
Who is going to support you?
Yeah.
Who's going to tell you, listen, you can, and we're going to do it. And who is not telling you that, oh, well, if it feels too tight, it'll go away. Your body will get used to it. Wrong.
That's not
even
correct.
Though you can't run away.
Yeah.
Because that person is not your friend.
Yeah.
They're not your friend.
That's so true.
So
yeah, I mean, don't let the fear of hurting someone else's feelings hold you back from walking and doing the things that you could do in your life. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep. Miss Lisa, you're incredible. Thank you.
So are you.
Well, thank you.
I actually found you. I think I told you this. I found you on YouTube before I met you here.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not even sure why your videos came up for me on YouTube, but they did. And then when I met you, I'm looking at you and I'm like, he looks really familiar. And then I'm like, cool. Oh my God, that's that same guy.
Wow. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah.
And you're even more cool in person than you are in your videos. So
thank you.
Very down to earth,
appreciate that.
Nice, humble guy.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. And I love your wife and your daughter. I saw pictures of them too. So
thank you. They're amazing.
So very cool.
Yeah.
Very
thank you. I'm gonna maybe someday start posting videos back on that channel and stuff. We'll see. But
do what you need to do.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's cool. And you've been just a pleasure. Every single time we talk, I'm just nonstop smiles and having a good time. And I think
that's part of my job.
Like
I said, I think I'm hilarious.
Yeah, you are. She's funny. You know, she's all right.
Yeah,
she's all right. Yeah, Miss Lisa. Oh, thank you.
I didn't hurt your back.
No, you're okay. I just missed your fingers.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
we saved it.
Yeah,
we saved
it. Yep. Yeah, thank you again. The stories are great.
This was amazing.
God bless you.
You too.
You know, you're in
Thank
my
you.
prayers, and hopefully everyone else is for your future stuff coming on. I can't wait to watch you and see what you do, because now I'm going to follow you everywhere. And we'll put all of your information on here so that they can follow you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Full support for you and what you're doing. And let's see you at the, hopefully we'll see
both
we'll
of
see
us
each
at the
other.
Paralympics. That would be wonderful.
That's what I'm talking
that would
about.
Be wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be wonderful.
And if you ever got an extra spot on a fighter jet, just let a cripple know.
I'll let you know. All right, then.
All right. Well, till the next one. Peace out. Thank you, guys. That was cool. Thank you very much.
You can throw sitting.